back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Beck and I upload new health and wellness videos every single week, and today's video is about cycle syncing or moon syncing, however you want to say it. This is a newer topic to me that I have been practicing for a few months now, and I'm just excited to share it with you. So let's get started. So what is cycle syncing? Basically, if you are a menstruating female, you have 4 different phases to your menstrual cycle. Cycle syncing is changing your eating habits as well as exercise habits depending on what phase of the menstrual cycle you are in. Today, I'm gonna go through each of these phases, what you should prioritize as far as nutrient-wise, exercise-wise, and maybe even thought patterns. My personal experience with this over the last few months has been really positive. I feel like I just have a healthier mindset when it comes to my cycle, and I can feel it making a difference. So I am excited to share this with you. All right, phase number 1 is probably the most well-known, and that is the menstrual phase. During this phase, you are actively menstruating, bleeding, you know. I'm sure many of you know that there are tons of side effects to this phase. You could have severe period cramps, bloating, mood swings, acne, the list goes on. I remember in the past being extremely angry at God during this phase. I thought that all of these negative symptoms were normal and just part of being a woman that I had to accept. But I want you to know that these symptoms actually aren't normal, which is crazy because I feel like most girls deal with them. So you would think that it's just like a normal part of life, but it's not. Your menstrual cycle is not meant to be super painful or super heavy. In fact, when you are having those symptoms, your body is actually telling you that something is internally wrong. So one thing I learned about the menstrual phase is that it is actually a monthly report that your body gives you on what is going on inside. So if you are having strong negative symptoms during your menstrual cycle, your body is trying to tell you something. Now, this is going to be different for everyone. I can't tell you like, oh, if your flow is heavy, it means this. Or, oh, if you're having cramps, it means you need to fix this in your life. Because it is so different for everyone. You could have PCOS or endometriosis. You could have some type of hormone imbalance. It's up to you to figure it out. And this can be a really long and grueling process, but I promise it is worth it. I still do have negative period symptoms, but I can attribute it to the fact that I do have hormonal issues and I have almost my entire adult / post-puberty life. But I am actively trying to balance my hormones and get those problems solved. But I do just want to say that even with the negative side effects, I think it's so freaking cool that as women, we do get a monthly report on our internal health. Like, that is pretty freaking cool if you think about it. I feel like our bodies are constantly telling us things, but we don't really know how to listen in this day and age. And that is actually a goal I have, is to get better at listening to my body and to be more in tune with it, to learn how to listen to it, because everybody's body is different and I can't tell you how to listen to yours. But biologically, during this phase, your hormones, specifically estrogen and progesterone, are at their lowest. And something that I have implemented during the menstrual phase is to ritualize it. I feel like this has helped me so much be in better tune with my body. It helps me get through my period. It helps me come to terms with it, I guess, and to just really, what's the word I'm looking for? Embrace, there we go, and to just really embrace being a woman and everything that comes with it. So what I mean by ritualize is during the week of your period, rest, replenish, and reflect on your life thus far. Really ritualize your period and make it a time to relax and just really take care of yourself. During this phase, there should be no guilt. You can sit and watch a movie all day if you want to. There is a reason that you crave certain foods during your period, and it could be that your body is actually lacking certain nutrients during your period. With all of that shedding of the uterine lining and of blood, you are losing nutrients. The reason we crave chocolate, ladies, specifically dark chocolate, is because it is very rich in magnesium, and your body needs magnesium during your menstrual phase. Another reason we have cravings and we feel like we want to eat the entire world during our periods is that we actually are expending more energy than normal. So your body naturally wants to consume more energy. So if you're eating extra calories or if you're craving certain things, it's okay. No guilt here. The last thing I want to talk about is bad self-talk and bad confidence. I feel like we have all dealt with this during our periods where we just look at ourselves in the mirror and we're like, I feel like a blob today. I don't feel pretty at all. I have acne or bloating or whatever. What I have to tell myself when I catch myself in this bad self-talk spiral is that this is temporary. I might feel that way about my body right now, but I won't feel that way forever because the next phase is coming, which is the best phase in my opinion. The next phase, phase number 2, is your follicular phase. During this phase, your hormones are beginning to rise, where they will eventually reach their peak. You will find that you might actually have a lot more energy. You might be kind of flirty and social. This is a great time to tackle the things that you might have been putting off. It's a great time to really be productive and get lots of things done. This is a great time to prioritize strength training, and actually during this phase it's easier for your body to build muscle. How cool is that? So prioritize strength training, lifting weights, high intensity training, and you actually have a higher pain tolerance during this phase. So if you're putting off getting like a bikini wax or something like that, now is the time to do it. Phase 3 is the ovulatory phase. So this is when you're ovulating, you're releasing that egg. During this phase, you may feel a little bit more sensual. Your body wants to make a baby right now, okay? At the beginning of this phase, you might feel very flirty, tap into that sensual feminine energy. This is your fertile window. However, during the second half of your ovulatory phase, after you've released that egg, you may or may not feel a crash. So just be prepared for that, but be sure to take preventative measures because you are about to hit that PMS phase. So during this phase, I would prioritize fiber, hydration, preventing that bloating that you could get in the next phase. All right, and the last phase, phase 4, is I don't know how to pronounce it. I think in America we say luteal, but in the UK they say luteal. Pronounce it how you will. This could potentially be your PMS phase. So you may or may not have lots of negative symptoms during this phase, the bloating, the moodiness. Knowing and being aware that you're in this phase makes all the difference. Ever since I started tracking my period, I feel like it has changed how I look at my period, how I look at this phase of my menstrual cycle, because if I know that I am in the luteal phase, then I know that I am prone to bloating and being more moody and things like that. And I feel like I'm just so much more forgiving of myself. Like when you have several bad days where you're like super moody and snappy, or you're like on and off, and then you get your period and you're like, oh. Yeah, this kind of prevents that because you know that you are in that luteal, whatever phase. So you never hit the aha moment. You're just like, okay, this is the phase I'm in. I need to be more forgiving. I can warn my partner, hey, I'm about to start my period, so I might be a little bit more moody. You can communicate your needs. However, there is something really cool about this phase. So during the luteal phase, you actually have better lung function. Now is the time to maybe go for a bike ride or a run or play tennis, whatever it may be. Your cardiovascular endurance is at its peak during this phase, which I thought was super interesting. Prioritize really nutrient-dense foods. Obviously, you want to do that throughout your cycle, but at this point, it is super important because you are about to hit the menstrual phase of your cycle where you lose a lot of nutrients. So make sure you are replenishing yourself with lots of nutrient-dense foods. Again, dark chocolate, magnesium. That's like my favorite fact that I learned while studying moon cycling. And now for the funnest part, at least in my opinion, I did make a free moon cycling guide for you guys that you can download in the description below. It talks about nutrition more in depth for each of the phases, as well as exercise. So go ahead and check that out if you want to start moon cycling with me. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another video, and I will see you guys back here next time.